Today I'm going to finish off my look at the Uniformation GK3 and, later on, test whether it can really be used for jewellery making. Biff, pow, zap, clunk, clunk, ouchie. Hey guys. I seem to have created a bit of controversy with my comments about the GK3, so I'd better offer a little clarity. In my initial short review, I noted that some prints seem to be pitted, though this could only be seen when highly magnified. Later on, I pointed out that my particular printer had a cracked lid and, most annoyingly, a faulty fan. And yet, despite these issues, I proclaimed the GK3 the king of the large resin printers. So, was your old mate VogMan slipping even further into insanity? Well, at the time I did state that Uniformation seems to do very well with its customer support, and sure enough, they sent me both a new fan and a new lid. They also provided some very easy to follow videos that enabled me to fix these issues, and I can tell you I've worked on both the GK2 and the GK3. And the GK3 is much easier to tinker with. Actually, it was whilst I was watching this demonstration video that I discovered exactly why Uniformation are able to separate themselves from the competition. It seems they employ four-handed mutants. I did have one critique of this process though. You'll note here how the wires are bound to the top corner of the fan housing. Well, I discovered the hard way that if you pull the cable tie too tightly, it distorts the flimsy plastic of the fan and prevents it from spinning. So maybe, just maybe, this was the initial cause of my fan issue. It's certainly something to bear in mind if you ever experience similar issues. But overall, the repairs were simple to do and were a complete success. So, with everything fixed, what about the printing issues? I recently discovered this red wax resin from Sunlu, and I really like it, so it seemed an ideal choice for this situation, and these are the settings that I came up with. I should also state that I replaced the ACF liner with a clear NFEP, as I've experienced strange things with ACF liners in the past. And sure enough, the prints were excellent. There's no sign of the pitting issues I previously experienced. Perhaps these were caused by the ACF liner, or perhaps it was the vibrations from the faulty fan. But whatever the case, these now seem to be a thing of the past. I previously made the claim that this printer would be suitable for jewellery printing, and that's part of the reason why I call the GK3 the king of the large printer range. Obviously, there are other printers in this sector which do a great job of printing big things, but because they typically have a lower resolution, they're not so good at small stuff like fine detail. Quite a while ago, I produced a video explaining what this resolution stuff is and how it's calculated. I also mentioned that it was a rotten shame that manufacturers didn't quote a pixels per inch figure, as in many ways this gives us a better idea of what these printers can actually do for us. We all pretty much understand the concept of pixels these days, and we get that the greater the density of pixels, the greater the image definition will be. Well, this comparison of large range printers isn't really all that helpful, until we introduce PPI. At that point, it becomes clear that the GK3 has more than double the PPI of the previous market top dog, the Frozen Mega 8K. And that's an incredible leap forward thanks to the 16K screen. And for me, that is why this printer is the king. Whether you want big prints or small prints, the GK3 has the ability to produce high quality. To prove my jewellery claim, I decided to venture once again into the world of Grillz. Now, in my previous video on this subject, I received a fair few questions, so I'll try and cover those as we go. A common question I got was, where do you get the teeth? Well, these particular gnashes were found on printables, and they'll work great for my demo here. But if you want a proper scan of your own teeth, many dentists are now providing a scanning service. Here I've got the digital image in ZBrush, but I'm pretty sure that everything that you'll see me do here can also be done in Blender, which of course is a nice free software. The very first thing I do is make a backup copy, and then I set about smoothing things out, adding virtual clay. Any little divots and concave shapes can make fitting difficult. So smoothing these out now, without changing the shape of the teeth, or tooth in my case, as I'm only working on one, will make everything that follows that little bit easier. Next, I'm going to mask the tooth, going close to the gums but not touching them. I'll also do the same on the back of the tooth, as this creates the retaining section. With that done, ZBrush can extract this shape into a separate entity, and this is roughly 1mm thick, which is ideal for our needs. And actually, that's pretty much it. But I'm going to jazz things up by adding a lion's head. A few weeks ago, I demonstrated a wonderful bit of software called Relief Maker that makes bas reliefs. This enabled me to take this fantastic lion's head created by talented artist Printed Obsession and make this into an almost flat bas relief. Now ZBrush can also bas relief, but without doubt Relief Maker does a much better job, though it obviously comes with a price tag. Working within ZBrush again, I can take this generated relief and use this as an alpha. With a standard brush, I can simply drag it onto a flat plane. I then boolean the lion's head free with a cube. Then it's just a matter of positioning things and making a few cosmetic alterations. I'm going to thicken the bottom area very slightly with more virtual clay, just to make metal flow that little bit easier. I also add a sprue into the design work. Finally, it's a good idea to boolean away the original teeth to ensure that we've still got a correct spacing. And there we have it. All we need to do now is print it. I opted to use burn away castable resin, and these are the settings that I came up with. I decided to print 4 Grillz just to be on the safe side. These are pretty small, so I opted to cast 3, increasing my chances of success, and it's just as well I did. Have you noticed the obvious mistake? The flask is upside down. Whether or not it was all this faffing about, the plaster cracked slightly during the pour. And sure enough, there was a nasty bit of flashing across one of the castings. And there we have it, Grillz made at home using the Uniformation GK3, and, admittedly, a fair bit of casting equipment. I'm sure you'll agree the GK3 did an excellent job of printing, and I hope this helps prove my point that this printer is capable of handling fine details. So I stand by my previous conclusions. The Uniformation GK3 is a very capable large resin printer. Its sheer size and, let's be frank about this, sheer cost mean that it won't be suitable for most. But for me, right now, anyone buying this printer is buying the best large-scale printer that I've reviewed to date. It really is a great quality item, and even though I initially had a few issues, I think it's fair to say I was able to look beyond those and rightly name this machine the king of the large range printers. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. So take care, and thanks for watching.